Okay, if you didn't see the news that I posted in a very long text-based format yesterday, I'm finally announcing what my new job is. As many of you know, if you've been following along, as an American, I need 3 years of skilled labor work to eventually apply for permanent residency. And at that point, if you speak Norwegian and understand the culture enough to pass a test, you can have permanent residency. I can do those things, but I need the 3 years of work. I had a 2-year contract from my previous job that was ending in July 2024. I worked really hard and taught some classes, which would have extended it to October if I needed. But I also had to tell my professor job back home in June whether or not I was coming back so that they could rehire somebody to replace me. And it is insanely hard to find a job in Norway. Even Norwegians, this is actually an interesting cultural lesson, because it's really hard to get fired from a job in Norway. Even native Norwegians usually start with like a substitute position, like temporary covering a leave of absence, or a position that's like half-time, and then they move up. I have to have something 80% of the time, skilled labor. So then when you add to it that I'm an immigrant, so my Norwegian is not perfect, and I think it just makes the hurdles are huge, and they felt at times insurmountable, particularly because academia has no jobs in Norway right now. The finance model for academia has been gutted from the top down. So, and that's what I thought, is I'd just get another academic job. I'd be great at getting another postdoc, but you're not really allowed to do 2 postdocs at the same institution. It's just, there were all these hurdles. It felt like the decks were stacked against me. But I finally got a job. And it is as a fact checker for an organization that has been hired to fact check things for TikTok. I'm essentially their Norwegian correspondent. They want somebody in a variety of European countries that knows the language and the culture, both so I can hear and listen to videos in Norwegian, but also so that I maybe have some insight into like, this issue is going to be a hot topic for Norwegians, or maybe a certain part of the population in Norway might tend to be problematically persuaded by this dis or misinformation. And it checks all the boxes for my visa. It's really cool to me that I get to use not only my research and writing and fact-checking skills from academia, but my work in academia and my previous job on misinformation, disinformation, how narratives are used to misinform people, how people understand science and health in the public realm, and also to use my TikTok skills. I never thought that would come in handy. And all my Norwegian competency, which I always thought was kind of this silly little thing I did on the side that didn't work for my job. And here we are. So I wanted to just share because you guys have been so supportive. Thank you for all your comments and help. It helped me understand the system, and it also just gave me hope and feel supported in the really dark times when I didn't think it was going to work out. So thank you guys. Also, any and all of you guys can send me tips. If you see dis or misinformation going around TikTok, you can forward me that video, and that will give me leads to follow up on and write articles about.